see. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Oh shit. You on live?
Yeah, we live. Nice to bear with us 1 second, Israel. Let me put this attendance sheet in the chat. We're gonna get right into it. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. So God, Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Most High Christ. Shalom, Israel. Y'all watching my shop. Thumb y'all Shema. Come by Shema Shah. Preaching officer 1000 Yadai, holding the class down till 12 show. General Muhammad gets here. General Muhammad will be in the building tonight. Now, Israel, black man, Latino man, First Nation man, and woman. It's time for us to understand for us that now is the time more than ever to come out of America. What do I mean by say come out of America? Meaning take your mind out of America. Everything that has transpired in these past couple of weeks should further understand how much of the oppressor is the devil that the Bible speaks of, man. Because what we have to understand is that these other nations are our enemies. They are. You saw it firsthand. When the so-called Afghanistanis came over here, I could personally say, as for Philadelphia, they dropped 1,000 of them off already. And they was met with nice Airbnbs, food, a place to stay. And guess what? Like new food trucks in our neighborhoods. But guess what? That Haitian man and woman, that Mexican man and woman, God's chosen people, the oppressor proves every day that he truly is the devil. If I could, Ashtawat, could I get Ecclesiastes 10 and verse 7? Bubba Kushaw. What happened, with our Levite brothers and sisters, the so-called Haitians today was atrocious by the hand of the oppressor, which goes to show you, man, how much they hate God's chosen people. Here you have, our brothers and sisters who is escaping literal hell. The French, when they came to Haiti and they oppress and enslave our brothers and sisters of the tribe of Levi, they named Haiti hell. Haiti means hell. And it goes to show you just how evil this oppressor is. Our brothers and sisters are leaving hell, leaving their hellish condition. And hell is a condition, just like heaven is a condition. The oppressor is in his heaven. He living up in the $1 million condos and sky-rise buildings while we live in North and Southwest Philadelphia. We live in the Bronx and Brooklyn. We live, in Compton and Watts. We live in the barrio. We live on the reservation, struggling and being oppressed by this evil, wicked bastard. And it goes to show you. Go ahead, Ashtar.
If I could, I don't mean to cut you off. But what's so heavy about what you said is, you know what I'm saying? A lot of our people will say that we in hell, but if we in hell, who the devil?
Exactly. And that's a good point you bringing out. If we in hell, who is the devil? Let me tell you who the devil is not. The devil is not some little red being wearing some little being that wears pink pantyhose, underground with a pitchfork that's gonna poke you. No, that oppressor is the devil that the Bible speaks of. Bill, Tim, Bob, Fred, the ones that wear that suit and tie, even that trailer trash that you see out there. Esau, out of woman in Hebrew, he is wasted away is he. That's the devil that the Bible speaks of, and that's who's oppressing our people. Our Haitian brothers and sisters came over here to the border And guess what happened? The oppressor was out there with actual whips, Ashton.
Right.
Actual whips. You know what I mean? And they love, and I was on and which makes it so sad. What makes it so sad, man, because you had silly Negroes up here in America that were saying we shouldn't worry about their plight. I'm going to explain something to y'all. That Haitian man and woman is our goddamn brother. The problem is we want to have unity with the so-called Arabs and Africans and oppressor. They're not doing this to those people, but they will do it to God's chosen people. They was out there on horseback, Ashtawa, whipping our brothers and sisters. And then Joe Biden and them had the nerve to go in there and say, well, you know, it wasn't a real whip. No, we had the video. We went over this on Ash Ye the Prophets with 12 Shield General Mayaka Allah. Those was actual whips that they were whipping God's chosen people with, man. Read what you got, Ashtawa.
Ecclesiastes chapter 10 verse 7.
Mm-hmm.
I have seen servants upon horses.
You seen what?
Servants upon horses.
You seen servants upon horses. Who are these servants upon horses? The Bible is saying they've seen servants upon horses, meaning the servant, meaning the oppressor, these other nations, man. This oppressor Esau, he's up on the horse whipping our brothers and sisters of the tribe of Levi, God's chosen people. I've seen servants upon horses. Read on.
And princes walking as servants upon the earth.
And princes walking as servants upon the earth, man. Who are the princes walking as servants upon the earth? That Haitian man and woman of the tribe of Levi, that Mexican man and woman of the tribe of Issachar, that black man and woman, that Puerto Rican man and woman. We are God's chosen people. We're those servants walking on the ground. Well, those princes walking on the ground like we serve the oppressor. And here's the thing, man, we are royalty. Black man, Latino, Alawat Panya, Barak, Yahweh Ba Shemi Yahweh Shah Barak. Oh, no. You want to take it down? Copy that, you know.
Did a good job in here. I'll cast the demon out of here or something. Damn. All right. All right, you need a second to let brothers and sisters get their questions together. You let me know, all right?
I believe we do have one question so far, sir. Brother said, Shalom, sir. Why did Christ have to go to John the Baptist? And also, what was the significance of him going to John to learn?
1 second. Okay. What was your question again?
Common concept. Brother said, Shalom, sir. Why did Christ have to go to John the Baptist to be baptized? And also, what was the significance of him going to John?
Pull the precept for the brother, all right?
Common concept.
In a nutshell, let me explain it to you. Also, what you need another perfect precept for your question is when Christ healed John the Baptist, and when Christ healed Lazarus, right? The reason that Christ went to John the Baptist is to take all of the followers of John the Baptist. That was the reason that he had to go to get baptized by John the Baptist, so that when John the Baptist's movement was ending, all of his followers would have the path to come and follow Christ. He was baptized by John the Baptist to take the followers of John the Baptist. How would he take them? By a great show of his power in front of John the Baptist. John the Baptist went out and taught repentance through the washing of water in the Jordan River. John the Baptist also knew that his mission and his job was unsatisfactory to true repentance. And he knew that Christ would come and Christ would give people the path to actual, real repentance. Christ came that day to take all of his followers, all right? If you have it, you can read it.
Matthew chapter 3 and verse 13. Then came Jesus from Galilee to Jordan unto John to be baptized of him. Verse 14. But John forbade him, saying, I have need to be baptized of thee.
Read that again.
Saying, I have need to be baptized of thee.
What does John the Baptist mean by that? He's trying to say, you are over me. You're better than me. Christ came that day to show the followers of John the Baptist that he was better than John the Baptist. John already knew it. John was the cousin of Jesus Christ. He was his cousin on his mother's side. He knew him. He knew the power that he had. He knew how he rolled the same way, a water warrior, the same way his mother knew his power, which is why she asked him to turn the water into wine when they went to that wedding, because his family knew what this cat could do by the power of the Most High God. So when he said, baptize me, John said, you should be baptizing me, because he knew that Christ was better than him. Right. Well, he did get baptized by John so that all of John's followers could know that Christ was better than him. Keep going.
And comest thou to me? And Jesus answering said unto him, suffer it to be so now.
You know what? Suffer it to be. Meaning what? Well, you should be baptizing me. You shouldn't be coming to me for me to baptize you. What was Christ's reply? Just suffer it, meaning let me do this. Work with me on this. I understand. I know you're right. That's true. But just do this for me, all right? Just suffer it. Allow me to do this. Just you baptize me instead. Because the point was, after John the Baptist baptized Christ, a voice from heaven would say, this is my beloved son. Hear ye him. What does hear ye him mean in context? Don't hear him. Hear him. Don't listen to John the Baptist anymore. Listen to him. That was the point. Who else agreed with that? John the Baptist himself agreed with that. Everybody understands. At the time. Then, of course, John the Baptist went to jail. And when he went to jail, he doubted Christ in prison because of the doctrine that Christ taught. And he is least in the kingdom of heaven. He's not the one that you should follow, Baptists. For you Baptists out there, you should not follow him. For you Israelites going to some dirty stream, you pull over your car to any dirty body of water you find. Turn on your camera phone and dunk your dumbass with your fringed white choir robe in any body of water, and you come out a filthy, stinking, wet sinner. Right. You're following John the Baptist. Right. Christ is better than John the Baptist. That was the point. Any more?
Come. For thus it becometh us to fulfill all righteousness.
For thus it becometh us, meaning it's beautiful for us to fulfill all righteousness. What was the righteousness he was going to fulfill? To take the followers of John the Baptist. Right. Go skip down to when he baptized him and showed everyone what happened.
Come, sir. Then he suffered him. And Jesus, when he was baptized, went up straight up out of the water. And lo, the heavens were opened unto him. And he saw the Spirit of God descending like a dove and lighting upon him. And lo, a voice from heaven saying, this is my beloved Son, in whom I am well pleased.
That's what he said. This is my beloved Son, in whom I am well pleased. Hear ye him. Christ, the Most High, was pleased with Christ. He wanted everyone to follow Christ. Who was there to witness this? The followers of John the Baptist. Everyone understands. Also, you can just get where John the Baptist said that all of his followers should follow Christ. Where is that at? That's in the book of Acts, I believe. Or it might be right above this. One cometh after me whose shoes I am not worthy to loosen.
Go ahead. Matthew 3:11. I indeed baptize you with water unto repentance.
That's John the Baptist saying that. I indeed baptize you. John did baptize. Who is the you in this precept? I indeed baptize you. Who is the you? Please. His followers. He baptized them. His followers. How do you know they were his followers? They were baptized by him, right? Just like your reverend or your preacher or your Catholic priest. You go to him, he baptizes you. That means you are one of his flock, right? You join him. Well, John baptized his followers with water. Keep going.
But he.
But what?
But he.
Go ahead.
But he that cometh after me is mightier than I.
I baptize you, meaning my followers, with water. But he that cometh after me is greater than I. What is John the Baptist telling his followers to do? Stop following me. Start following him. That's what you fake Israelite groups should have did with Commanding General Yohana.
Right.
Some of you did it. Give yourselves a hand. Out there in Texas, some brothers did it. A few other places in New York, some fake Israelite groups. They were fake Israelite groups, congregations, and they all just came and followed Commanding General Yohana. You chose wisely. That was a wise decision you made. I would recommend it to all of you fake Israelites and all of you Christians and all of you Muslims. You and your pastor, your Musha Mishu, your Morey, your rabbi, your priest, your whatever silly garbage you in, all of you should just come and serve under Commanding General Yohana because he serves under Christ. If you did it, it would be the right thing to do. All right? That's it with that. Everybody understands. Next question.
Brother wanted to break down Ecclesiastic cuss. I've been pulling up the question, sir. Mm-hmm. Brother said, what is the purpose of the transfiguration and why couldn't the rest of the disciples see him or know it?
The Bible doesn't specifically describe why the rest of the disciples couldn't see him, but I will give you the very practical answer, right? The logical answer. These are the two that stayed awake with him. Those two. Those two stayed down in a terrible time. And that's the lesson that all of you should learn from those two brothers that were able to witness Christ glowing, shining light all over him. And then they saw Moses and who else? And Elijah on either side of him, serving him, ministering to him. Moses and Elijah, the two biggest names in the damn Bible. Moses and Elijah. They were able to see the cat that they were following where he was getting served by Moses and Elijah. That was an amazing thing to witness, brother. I mean, my God, that was ridiculous, right? Well, why did they get to see it? Because when everyone else was asleep, these men stayed awake. He went up into the mountain. Where was everybody else at? Knocked the hell out, tired, sleep. And that's the thing that we went over this week, that has to be fought, being goddamn lazy. That has to be fought. That's a disgusting thing. And it is something that if you are lazy in the work of the Lord, you will not prosper like another brother who's not lazy. Right? Good up.
It's heavy because I remember while you was breaking down what happened with the ISUPK when they went across the border,
Mm-hmm.
the news article said while everybody else was asleep.
Give him a hand. I totally slipped my head. I didn't even realize that. Yeah, while everyone else was asleep. Yatazak and those warriors down there, they weren't asleep. Huh?
Right.
Everyone else was barbecuing with their family, sitting with their girl, bouncing those brats on your damn knee that ain't gonna do nothing but grow up and be a shame and an embarrassment to you any goddamn way. Them kids you leaving the truth over, them kids you won't come into the truth for, those kids are going to be a reckless embarrassment to you. And by the time they get 14, you're gonna be thinking, where can I send them to live?
Right.
That daughter, my God, she's going to be a whore. And by the time she gets 13, you are going to think, can she live with my mom? Where can she live? A lot of you women right now, you got some old little hoe in waiting to be a hoe, little child. And you think that she's the biggest thing in the world, and you can't come into the truth because your daughter loves Christmas. She loves Halloween and birthdays. And so because of that, you're not going to come into the truth. And you're going to fight her baby's father over keeping her. You're going to be in court all the time with him. When that girl gets 13 years old, you're going to call the baby's father and be like, can you come get her? Can she live with you? You're going to have a little son. You're going to say, listen, I know I've been fighting you in court for 15 years over keeping this boy, but could your son come live with you? Could he stay with you? That's what you're going to do. Why miss the truth in the kingdom of heaven over a child that will bring you no honor? No. I would come into the truth and preserve the righteousness of myself and the protection of my child. That's what I'd recommend to you. No, I'm fine, boy. Go ahead.
Next question, sir.
Go ahead.
Khan, sir. Yeah, brother wanted to break down, I'm 12. Brother wanted to break down Ecclesiasticus, chapter 29 and verse 22 to 23.
Mm-hmm. Go ahead.
Ecclesiasticus, chapter 29, verse 22. Better is the life of a poor man in a mean cottage than delicate fare in another man's house.
I'm assuming it's the word mean. The word mean is like rough. You understand? That's what a mean cottage is. It might be another definition of it. Let me check. It might be mean like basic. Alexa, what does the word mean?
As a noun, mean is usually defined as a cultural item that is transmitted by repetition and replication in a manner analogous to the biological transmission of genes. As a verb, mean is usually defined as to create and spread memes. For more, ask me to give you more
Alexa,
definition.
stop. So the old English word means like rough. The term rough. So a mean cottage is like a basic rough cottage. It doesn't have all of the frills and accoutrement of a place, that's wonderful and luxurious. It's a mean cottage, which means it's just basic and rough. It's better to be in a mean cottage. Go ahead.
Than delicate fare.
Than delicate fare. That's the opposite of rough, correct? Delicate fare. What does fare mean in the Bible? Fare means food. Food. Is there a word you use with fare today? Probably not. But fare is an old English word that meant food, right? Delicate food would be like, not a pot of soup, but delicate food would be, give me something. Grapes that you can eat, that would be delicate food, as opposed to grapes that you can't even eat. You got to squash to make wine. Wine grapes you can't even eat. They'll burn your damn mouth and make your mouth itch. What's up? Something that's fair. Hors d'oeuvres. You know what hors d'oeuvre is? Anybody in here? Hors d'oeuvre is like a little, imagine going to get food at a rich restaurant. That's delicate fare. You go to a rich restaurant, it's about this much food on a plate about this big. That's delicate fare. It's better to live in a rough cottage, just the basic necessities in there, than to go enjoy, delicious little bites. Keep going.
In another man's house.
In another man's house. What is that? So what is it? In essence, what does it mean? It's better to live rough than in your own house than to go eat delicious things in someone else's house. Who should learn that? Blacks and Hispanics. Right. So many of you, I've heard you Christians even go as far as to say, you thank God for slavery because slavery brought you here to America. Go ask your pastor. That is a thing that you can hear, that they'll tell you. Our people believe that it's better to be rich and live under someone else's roof than to be the master of the house, even though your house is just a basic, rough house. It's better to have your own ability to take care of yourself than to live with somebody else and to live deliciously out. Everybody understands. And that's an excellent lesson for everyone in the nation of Israel who thinks that, without our oppressors' guidance and laws and police force, we would never be able to take care of ourselves. Would things be as easy without our oppressor? No, you wouldn't get, you wouldn't get all of the food and drugs and filth and whores that you get right now. You know what I need for this topic, I need Mr. Rogers. Mr. Rogers he would speak about how cartoons were too violent. He was against Tom and Jerry, and he warned against the violence of cartoons. See if you can find just a short speech from Mr. Rogers talking about that, all right? Some of you don't know what the hell I'm talking about. Mr. Rogers was some cat came on back in the day. Right? That just something jogged my memory about that, all right? The point is, we live here in America. We think we get to enjoy the delicacies of America, which are mainly drugs and abominations to eat. It would be better if we had no access to drugs, no access to rich things, but had our own country, but had our own land. Everyone understand? Go ahead, Doc.
If I could, it's like in the Maccabees when they say wicked men in Israel, they wanted to join on to the evil.
That's the exact reference. Give him a hand. And so many times, through many revolutions, when things get rough, a portion of your men turn into rats and traitors. Just like a drug dealer. Drug dealers and gangs and crews out in the street, they love each other when they're making money and buying a ton of those sneakers they love and gold chains and whores and fancy cars. And they'll be friends. But when it's time to go to jail, when it is time to go to jail, they're going to betray you because they can't live mean for you. They can't live rough. And they'd rather live in the white man's witness protection, our oppressor's witness protection, or live somewhere where they're under our oppressor's authority than have to sit in that jail and live rough and stand like a man and do their goddamn time like they should do it, as opposed to betraying their friends who are just as guilty as them, but to get out of jail, they'll betray their friends. And that's a rat, and you have to expect it if he's a criminal. Everyone understands. Go ahead, Al.
So the video, was that the same one where he was speaking to like the Senate?
I'll take it. Yes, watch a little bit of it because I probably don't need the whole thing. Just watch him warning about media and cartoons and what kids see. All right? Today, Philadelphia reached 400 murders, which is the highest in history, right? They didn't start counting murders until 1960. Philadelphia has the highest murders in the history of counting murders right now. And think about we got 3 more months, right? And I'll show you where that comes from. And I'll show you where R. Kelly, of course, got convicted today. They're giving him all the jail time that they have. Whatever jail time they have, he's getting it, right? They look on the books and they say, well, what you got? How much time do we have to give a person? They're giving that to R. Kelly, somebody who everyone thought was just having a ball, having sex with all of those children since I was I think, an officer of 50. He was having sex and selling videotapes with him having sex with those children. And I'll go and I'll explain what you should learn from R. Kelly. All right? Let me get into that in 1 second. Let me wrap these questions up. Next. Up front. You got it, Mullah.
I remember that you were saying how Albert Einstein only wore like the same clothes.
Good.
Could you give the explanation behind it?
On why he did it? Well, he said why he did it. He said because the time that it took every morning to choose what to wear, he could devote that time to his research and his studies. Do you understand?
So like just going through picking which clothes you should wear.
Just imagine, did you wear a uniform when you were in grade school or high school? Okay, then there's a reason that they gave you a uniform. Right. They started that to try to, we didn't wear uniforms when I was young. And brother, the night before was laying everything down on that bed and checking it out to make sure it was right. With the whole outfit and what you were going to wear the next day and how it fit together and what your friends were going to wear. People can devote a lot of time to what they're going to wear to work, what they're going to wear to school. Some places, to avoid people taking that time, they'll give you a uniform. The practice began with Albert Einstein, who would tell people that's what he did. So everyone wanting their students to be smart as Albert Einstein began to say, let's wear uniforms. Over in Great Britain, they've always worn uniforms in their schools forever, since the 30s at least. Probably goes back before then. All right? He did it so that he didn't have to even think about what to wear, so that he could give more space in his brain to math. You understand? He didn't want to think about a shirt. What shirt is he going to wear? He wanted to think about math. So he got rid of that. And you can look. You could have Googled that. That's just the answer. All right. Good to go. Next. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
Also, is there a way for us to implement that into the life we live right now and the truth?
Well, absolutely. Well, there's so many things. Okay, it wouldn't be our culture and the truth to wear the same thing. Fake Israelites do that for the same reason. They want everyone, well, different reasons. They want everyone to look exactly the same. You get my point, because it gives a vibe of men under their control. Like everyone wearing the exact same thing, right? Like the Army or the Navy or fake Israelite groups, right? It's not our culture to do something like that. What we wear is significant. It's in the Bible dictionary. We wear things on purpose. Like even a lot of idiots think that a garment is a t-shirt. A garment is not a t-shirt. It's a totally different thing that you wear for a totally different reason. So what we wear is significant. Our headpieces are significant. You understand? But can you add focus to your life by getting rid of something that is superfluous and unnecessary? Absolutely. Come on.
That's when you try to be a trooper. Make it simple.
There you go. We make it simple for troopers. All black. Just get the cam. So now you get rid of all of that mess in your brain. So we already do it with troopers in the UPK. When you're a trooper, you're young. So you don't think about what to wear. You're going to wear all black. You're going to focus on getting off of weed, getting off of being an alcoholic, getting off of whores, and being on time and being committed to something for the first time in your life. All right? So that's that. Now, let's say you're not a trooper anymore. Now you're an officer. There are absolutely ways that you can focus yourself. When you can get rid of something that is a distraction. What's one of the main things that you could do? Those kids and that wife of yours. She's a goddamn distraction. And those children. What you could do is tell yourself, I have this to do for the work of the Lord. I am not allowing children or women to distract me from that. And they'll know, well, listen, he don't play with this. He's going to camp. He's going to class. He's not giving a damn about this, what the kids have to do, and none of that garbage. He doesn't care. He loves his children and he loves his wife, but not more important than this. Now, what does that do? It gives you a certain amount of focus on what you have to do. That's what distracts, men, grown men, women and kids, and all of that, and fun, and all of the pleasure that now you can have because you're grown. Right? When you're a child, you don't have a lot of access to pleasure. You don't have the money or the freedom to pleasure when you're a child. So you're sneaking and hoping one day you can have that kind of pleasure. Then you become a man, and now all of the drugs you want is readily at your hand. All of the women are on a button away on chasetail.com. All of everything you want you can get. And of course, it makes you lose focus on what is really important. You can cut those things out. You can get rid of those things. You understand? Next. I don't need it right this second, but hang on to it. This is just, you watch a little bit if you can on your own. All right, do you have headphones? Can you listen to this without playing it in the class? Just listen to it and just give me a minute or two of him breaking down what he knew back in goddamn 1969 was going to happen with violence. All right? See me one more time, please, with the Chaser Warrior, Daniela. Next question. I'll take one online now.
Sir. Brother says, Shalom, sir. Can I get a breakdown of our position on the Feast of Booths? I know that we don't actually dwell in booths, but could you give me an understanding or precepts to understand our position?
I'll make it, okay, give me the precept where we didn't dwell in booths since the time of Joshua, all right? This is another misunderstanding that most people get from joining fake Israelite groups who do not understand the Bible. Your fake Israelite group watched us online, heard us say Kwam Yasha'Allah, and went and started a group. And they don't understand it. They don't know what it's about. They don't know the Bible at all. And that's why they sit in tents in it's a personal inside joke because it's so ridiculous to me that you would go live in a tent to remember what it's like living in tents when about 25% of us right now are living in tents. You're an idiot. Nigga, you're celebrating the Feast of Booths every day.
Right.
You're doing it every day already. Every day. Every day. If it wasn't for black women getting Section 8, do you know how many people would be homeless out? Black women getting Section 8, brother. Okay, already you living under a bridge, and there's tent cities in every city in America. Giant tent cities. There's about 200,000 people living in the subway in New York. Am I making this up? I am not. Pull it up on the screen. They'll celebrate the Feast of Booths right now in New York, in the subway. There's people living in the subway in Philadelphia. A whole damn city down there. In the subway in Philadelphia and in Chicago. They open the damn manhole covers, go down there in the manhole, and live down there. They're celebrating the Feast of Booths every day. It's funny because you're stupid and you don't understand the Bible because you watch some fake Israelite group because you are a gay man. And that homosexuality will not let you come in here because you smoke weed and your drug addiction won't let you come in here. But I'll break it down for you. I got a minute or two, all right? They're celebrating the Feast of Booths right here. They get it. Give me the tent cities. Pick a tent city. Minnesota, Chicago, Minneapolis, Indianapolis. Pick a random tent city that's miles long, and you'll see some people celebrating the Feast of Booths every day. What do I want? What's the precept I want? Marah in the back.
Nehemiah 8:17.
Someone read up front so that everyone can hear. If you can't hear him online, please let the officer know, all right?
God.
Go ahead.
In the book of Nehemiah, chapter 8 and verse 17. And all the congregation of them that were come again out of the captivity.
Out of what?
Captivity.
What captivity?
Made
No,
booths.
what captivity? Say it again.
Out of the captivity.
What captivity?
Out of the captivity.
What captivity?
Out of the captivity.
All of the people that came out of the captivity. Go ahead.
Made booths.
And they made booths, huh? I wonder why they made booths. Because they came out of the captivity. All of them Feast of Booths came, they making booths, huh? They making booths. They're making tent. A booth is a tent. Keep going.
And sat under the booths.
And they went and got inside those tents. You can do it tonight if you want. Just go a little bit. Where would you have to go? Kensington. There you go. Go drive a half an hour, brother, and you can celebrate the Feast of Booths every night of the year. Keep going.
For since the days of
Joshua, right? Is that the name?
they got an E in it, but
It's Joshua, correct. Since the days of Joshua. Why is Joshua significant? What do we know about Joshua? Who can guess? What happened with Joshua? Somebody reads the Bible once or twice? You ever heard of Joshua? Ask someone online, please. Alexa, who is Joshua?
This might answer your question. According to Wikipedia, Joshua or Yahushua functioned as Moses' assistant in the books of Exodus and Numbers, and later succeeded Moses as leader of the Israelite tribes in the Hebrew Bible's book of Joshua. His name was Hoshea.
Alexa, stop. What did Joshua do, officers? Marah?
He helped to lead the Israelites out of captivity.
He helped lead the Israelites out of captivity and into the promised land. Since the time of Joshua, and Joshua is the one that was the first leader when we were in the promised land. When we were out of captivity, what did Joshua do? He set up the booths in the promised land. We have not dwelled in booths since the time of Joshua until
the son of Nun until that day.
Until that day. Someone give me just a time chart just so I can randomly know how much time was between Joshua and Nehemiah. Someone look that up. Any of you started once or twice a day or a week or a month? You want to go in there and look and find out the timeline for Joshua. How much time is in between Joshua and Nehemiah? All right. Let me just help you out. It's a long time. All All right. Spoiler alert. It's a long time. All right. Now, to the brother's question, why didn't they celebrate the Feast of Booths by living in booths while they were in captivity? Anyone want to guess? Because what's the purpose? Go back to Leviticus, Salaki, go back to Leviticus, the 23rd chapter. Give me the Feast of Booths, all right? When you get it, let me know. Let me know the purpose for the Feast of Booths. It's in Leviticus. We're wrapping up the Feast of Booths tomorrow night, correct? Okay, well, this question is timely and important. Give me another city, man. Pick a random one. What city is this, you know? That's New York. There you go. Celebrating the Feast of Booths. It's not, this ain't this week, though. This is all year, all the time, every day. Give me Minnesota. How about that? Minnesota. It's cold out there in Minnesota. I saw a rat in Minnesota. Then they made me. I saw a rat in New York last week. Then they made me get back in my truck and get the hell up out of there. It was laying on the ground. I said, you know what? Maybe I should teach somewhere else tonight. But I was ordered to teach in New York, so I went on in there, y'all. But damn. Okay, but damn. It was a rat laying on the ground that people live next to in New York. They lived there next to that rat that I saw that was damn near a cat. It was so damn big. What do we have here? What city is this? This is Minnesota. Minneapolis, Minnesota right there. Celebrating the Feast of Booths all year round. All the time. Let's get another one. Who wants to give it a shot? How about California, Los Angeles? Give me Cali. LA. San Francisco. Pick one, y'all. Name a city. And you'll find your people celebrating the Feast of Booths every day, all the time. Read the precept, please.
Leviticus chapter 23, verse 42. Ye shall dwell in booths 7 days. All that are Israelites born shall dwell in booths, that your generations may know that I made the children of Israel to dwell in booths when I brought them out of the land of Egypt.
So what does the Most High want to remind us of? The Most High wants to remind us that when we came out of that captivity and we were living in the wilderness, when we had to eat whatever God blew in on the wind, we ate the what's those birds? Quail, I believe it is, right? We ate the quail that the Most High blew in. We ate manna that fell down from the sky. We ate unleavened bread and was sick of it and went and sinned against God because we got so sick of eating flat, hard bread. And then we got the promised land. We were in our land, brother. My God, a land of, it doesn't say milk and honey. What's the word? Milk and honey is not in the Bible, I don't believe. But in the Bible instead of milk and honey. Bread and something like that. Alexa, is the land of milk and honey in the Bible?
Here's something I found on the web. According to Genius.com, the land of milk and honey is used to describe Canaan, which, in the Bible, is the promised land of the Israelites.
She ain't giving it to me. It's some other phrase, but it's similar to that, but you can look it up, milk and honey, right? Meaning now we're in a land that is rich and plentiful and wonderful. Then we got into booths. Why? To remember that we had to live in booths when we came out of Egypt. It was rough. We were in a, Malakia, we were in a, bring me home. I'm asking you for a reason. We were in a mean house, right? We had left the land of Egypt that had what there? Fair delights. What precept am I referring to directly? Let us go back to Egypt where we sat by the flesh pots, where we got to eat the leeks and the onions. Pull that precept. We wanted to go back to Egypt when we were sitting there eating that damn unleavened bread forever. We said, take us back to Egypt where we sat by the flesh pots. Imagine that, a big old pot, and you sitting by it and you eating all that good lamb or whatever filth the Egyptians ate. And now we're out in not just flesh, not just meat, but my God, leeks, onions, and delicious things. Now we sitting out in the damn wilderness eating old bread we made when we got out of Egypt. Brother, there was a revolt against Moses. A revolt. Give me the precept first, then I'll wrap it up with you. Flesh pot is what you need.
Come.
Go ahead.
Exodus chapter 16, verse 3. And the children of Israel said unto them, would to God we had died by the hand of the Lord in the land of Egypt.
They said, would to God. What does that mean? That means I wish God would have killed us in the land of Egypt. That's what they said when they got into that rough situation out there in that wilderness. They were out there. They said, I wish we died in Egypt. Keep going.
When we sat by the flesh pots.
In Egypt, we sat by the flesh pots. Big old pots full of what? Christmas turkey, Thanksgiving turkey, Easter ham. Man, I wish I could just die in America rather than blacks and Hispanics having a land of their own where there's no Christmas turkey. There's no Easter ham. There's no Thanksgiving turkey out there. There's just freedom, Huck. Just freedom. Keep going.
And when we did eat bread to the full.
Oh, we got so much bread in Egypt, forget about it. Look at a supermarket in America. In all these, it's a kingdom of heaven in there. All of the food and delicious things you can eat in America and have everything you want. We ate bread to the full in Egypt. Keep going.
For ye have brought us forth into this wilderness to kill this whole assembly with hunger.
You done brought us out here. We got no bread. Where's the leeks and the onions? It's somewhere else around there. Well, he talked about all of the delicious things they had in Egypt. They missed it. They missed it to the point that they wanted to rebel against Moses and to kill him so they could go back. It's better to live in a mean house than to have delicious fare in another man's house. I pray you understand that better now.
Right.
Well, when we left Egypt, it was rough. We had to live in tents. We didn't get to live in Pharaoh's house. We didn't get Section 8 homes given to you by your slave master that damn near every brother in the world is living in, acting like he's a goddamn homeowner. You think you're a homeowner because you're in that Section 8 house. You think you're better than everybody else. You think you're Bill Cosby, right? Because you live in a Section 8 home and you think you are Bill Cosby living in there, don't you? I hear you, brother. I would strive for a nation of my own if I was you. I would strive for a nation of my own. Here's the problem. To get a nation of your own, you might have to live in a tent. You might have to do that for a time. I pray you understand that. That might come with it. What you got here, brother?
Oh, that's under the bridge in Texas.
There you go. That's Jesus Christ. Give him a hand. What am I doing even breaking this down? Yes. This is the Haitians. I guess those Levites are celebrating the Feast of Booths all the time. Every day, the tribe of Levi, the chosen people of God, they're celebrating the Feast of Booths. 30,000 more of them are coming to celebrate the Feast of Booths, according to the White House. They're all coming to celebrate the Feast of Booths under a bridge in Texas. Why do we have to live in those booths? So that we didn't forget what it was like to be poor when we got rich. So that the Most High could always remind us. Now we have our own land. Now we're rich. Is the land of milk and honey in the Bible? Maya.
It's quoted, the land flowing with milk and honey.
So what? Land flowing with milk and honey. Now we're in the land flowing with milk and honey. We're not starving anymore. What did the Most High want to institute? He wanted a day where we remembered what it was like to be homeless. That is the point of the Feast of Booths. That is the spirit of the law. Remember, that's what Christ gave us. You fake Israelites, you Christians, you just going to have a camping trip. And you think that this is the law? You think this is the point? A camping trip. People go camping every goddamn summer. That's not the point. The point of the Feast of Booths is to remind you what it was like to be homeless. Guess what? After Joshua, They stopped doing it. Who can guess why? Blow my mind. Captain? Because they were homeless already. We've been in 17 captivities, brother. We are in perpetual homelessness. We were homeless during the time of the Greeks. We were homeless during the time of the Romans. What was Christ going out there doing in the streets? Healing the lepers, the poor, the sick, the impoverished. Where were they? In the streets. That's where they were. They lived there. When they went out to the Bethesda, which is an interpretation of 5 porches, an angel came down to the pool every year and healed them that were maimed and sick that came into the pool. There were people laying all around the damn pool, laying there, couldn't get in there, just laying there. Blind people begging in the street everywhere in John 9:1. That's where homeless people were, the same place they are right now. They didn't celebrate the Feast of Booths in Rome. Do you understand? Why? Because they lived in the catacombs. Do you understand? They lived in the graveyard in Rome every day. A tent would be shelter that they don't usually have. The prophet Isaiah, what did he do? He went and what did the prophet Jonah do? The prophet Jonah went and lived under a pumpkin, a gourd. And the gourd gave him shade from the sun. And when the gourd died, he was so angry because he loved that gourd because it gave him shade from the sun. Do you think the prophet Jonah needs to celebrate the Feast of Booths? He's living under a goddamn pumpkin for shade. I think he's celebrating the Feast of Booths every day. I think he understands what it's like to be poor. However, there will be a time when we will have to force ourselves to go into a tent to remember what it was like to be homeless. When will that time be? Officer. When we're in our own land, in our own mean house, in our own land, and then we'll be in the kingdom of heaven. Give him a hand. In the kingdom of heaven, we're going back in the booths every year. And without it, what will you do? If you don't celebrate the Feast of Booths in the kingdom of heaven, what will happen? Well, that's true. But what's the spirit of the law? If you don't celebrate the Feast of Booths, when Christ returns in the kingdom of heaven, what will happen?
So we'll forget how we live.
We'll forget what it was like to be under the bridge in Haiti, to be under the bridge in Texas, to be living outside in Los Angeles. We'll forget what it was like. In the kingdom of heaven, we'll do it on purpose to remember that the Lord made us dwell in booths when we came out of Egypt. I pray you understand, all right? Next question. In the back.
Probably, I had a question, King James, right? I'm trying to see, is there any books, you know what I'm saying, that goes into like, you know, him being a black man, how can, you know, I track back to lineage?
Okay, this is what I always used to do when I was cutting Christians pretty heavy once a week, right? I would go to the King of Aragon, right? I believe it's the King of Aragon, who is related to King James's grandmother. And I would go to that York and Lancaster family that King Henry VIII was from, which is King James's family, right? And I know I used to always use the King of Aragon, who was in the book Nature Knows No Color Line. The King of Aragon, right? Aragon is a place in Spain. And that's what I remember. Okay, I slightly forget it, but it is a lot of books. I'm sure other brothers can find it for you on some of the other offices. But I remember go to Nature Knows No Color Line. And I remember it was something in Nature Knows No Color Line. And it was also, I would also use the King of Aragon, who was King James's grandfather. All right? That's what I remember. More than that, I have to jog my memory, all right? But once you look it up and ask another brother, that would help me to remember, all right? But I know I used to go into Nature Knows No Color Line. King James was what you would call today a so-called black man, all right? Many blacks and Hispanics ruled Europe during the time that's called the Dark Ages. And racism in America, brother, is a peculiar thing. But this kind of racism didn't exist in Europe. There were so many black people that ruled Europe. It was common. The Pope would pray to a black Madonna and a black baby Jesus. In Europe, there wasn't the kind of, in America, they deny you even self-respect here. Like the racism in America means you are not allowed to know that there was anybody great who looked like you. But in Europe, it was not like that. So you can find all of this in Europe. St. Maurice. But King James was a black man. Did he love his people? Hell no, he didn't love his people. Neither does Al Sharpton or Jesse Jackson or Jay-Z. Jay-Z doesn't love his people. Jay-Z came against Colin Kaepernick for taking a knee. And he's black. He came against it. Do Hispanics love their people? Hell no. What do you think the race of the Border Patrol is? Who wants to take a guess? Blow my mind. Who do you think fights on the Border Patrol? Issachar? Issacharites. Issacharites own the Border Patrol, beating those people, kicking them and arresting them, thinking, you're not Americans. You're trying to jump the line. You're not Americans. King James was like the Mexicans who joined the Border Patrol. That was King James. Same old thing. But yet and still they're the chosen people of God. And King James was a chosen man of God by blood, but not by spirit, not by what he thought, not by what he believed. You can find this in many books. This is not something that's hidden. All right. Next. Online.
Nothing. That was it online.
Solid. Let me get into my topic today. I remember I had to do something else besides this. The murders, and it was something else. Go ahead,
You mentioned R. Kelly.
R. Kelly. All right. Everyone knows R. Kelly today. Almost right before I came into class, they passed a verdict down. They convicted. He's guilty on all counts. Sex trafficking, which I still don't know what the hell that is. Go ahead. I'm good to go. I'm fine. Alexa, what is sex trafficking? Alexa. Now she ain't talking. Hell. All right. So if you don't, I unplugged it. I apologize. So I gotta wait for it to boot. Alexa, what is sex trafficking?
Oh, she moved up, sir.
Still okay. I still don't know what in the hell that is. Sex trafficking. Do you gotta ship the broad somewhere, or put her in one of those containers and ship her to Russia? I don't even know. Is it pimping? Is pimping or pandering? Is that the same thing as sex trafficking? I don't know. Alexa, Alexa, are you there? She's still getting the situation together. I was going to ask her what it is. I don't know what the hell it is, but R. Kelly is convicted of it. He's convicted of sex trafficking, statutory rape, everything. And he's being sentenced later on or something like that. Go ahead. 1 second. Alexa, you got it? You got it? Let me guess. Alexa, what is sex trafficking? No problem. You got it up.
Sex trafficking is human trafficking for the purpose of sexual exploitation, including sexual slavery, which is considered a form of modern slavery.
Damn. So that's different. It sounds different than pimping, right? Or pandering. Maybe because the hoe wants to have sex. I don't know. Right? I guess it's a woman who doesn't want to have sex, and you say you got to go over there and have sex. They might call that sex trafficking. I don't know. But they convicted R. Kelly of it today. Is that what you had out? You had something else?
It says the action or practice of illegally transporting people from one country or area to another for the purpose of sexual exploitation.
So maybe R. Kelly was, taking the hoes from one city to another, them babies, from some city, Anyway, he's convicted of it. All right, today. Now, many people will look at the R. Kelly story, and they will say, well, he was a child molester. And he was a child molester. They got it on video. Everybody had the video when we was coming up. I was Officer 50. Everybody had that damn video. Having sex with all them kids. It was just considered nothing because the kids wanted to do it. And that was the whole thing about that statutory rape. It was like, it wasn't really rape because that girl was just hot in the ass. That girl wanted it. That girl, they did the same thing with Mike Tyson. Mike Tyson is a convicted rapist. Y'all know that? Straight up and down, convicted, went to jail for 6 years for rape. But Farrakhan defended him. Everyone defended him. You know why? Because that girl went to Mike Tyson's room. No one is in here old enough to know even what in the hell I'm talking about, do you? You die, you know what I'm talking about? What did people say back in the day to defend Mike Tyson?
Oh man, she went to his room.
They said she went to his room at 1 a.m. Why would a girl go to a man's room at 1 a.m. if she don't want to have sex? So because the girl went to his room, the black community were on the side of Mike Tyson, not the girl, because they said she wanted it, right? Because she went to his room late at night. And that was a very similar thing with Mike Tyson and with R. Kelly. He peeing all on them girls, pissing everywhere, all on these children up. But the kids like it. They want to do it. So everyone just said, it's fine because them girls are hot in the ass. That's what they want to do. But here's what R. Kelly didn't realize, is that women are double-minded and they regret things. Women have sex with a man and then later on, you know what they think to themselves? You used me. I should have never had sex with you. That's why I tell you brothers, don't ever break the 1 year rule, like ever. If you break the 1 year rule with a woman in the school, right? Let me tell you what's going to happen. You're gonna stock out whatever noise is happening right here. Calm this down, please. All right. If you break the 1 year rule with a sister in the school, you're gonna break the 1 year rule. You're gonna pay your fine. You're gonna take your chastisement, and now you're gonna have a wife, and she's gonna be your wife. And you're gonna say to yourself, "I had to have her. She had to be with me. You know, we were in love. We were in love." Do me a favor, Shemai. Take them. Whoever wants a plate, get up and get a plate. All right. Don't hand out plates anymore. I thought I said this, Daniel. I had to say this before. You die. Help me out with this here. Do not give out plates. Whoever wants a plate, get up and get a plate. You don't got to hand out the plates out. I appreciate your service. Go ahead.
Next time, should I just
You should stand right here and you should say, "Sir, can I make an announcement?" And I'll say, "Come." And you'll say, "Any captains, officers of 5,000 want a plate? Come get it. Any thousands? No. 5,000? No. 500? Everybody come get a plate." And everybody will just get up and get the plate, and nobody has to get served in here. Not during class. It's too much goddamn trouble. All right. Everybody, just come get your goddamn plate. Can you do that? Is that all right? Do you need napkins and accoutrement? Do you need hors d'oeuvres? They're fine, Warrior. They're good to go. They're going to come get this food and knock that thing on out. It's chicken. Is it hors d'oeuvres or chicken? Put it in your mouth. Suck that bone. Put it back on the plate, and let's move the hell on. If it's okay, Mayak. I don't know if it is or not. All right, no problem. I would assume so. It's a little too much macaroni brigade in here, a little potato salad brigade. Let's relax. Get up and get the food and shut your mouths, all right? Everybody understands. Okay, let's move on. Clap it up for yourself. You're wonderful in every way. You're beautiful and wonderful and loved, all right? Moving on. Now, women sometimes regret what they've done, right? And once they regret it, especially once they get older, once they have bad times with you, they will regret the fact that they broke the 1 year rule with you. And you know what they'll say? Who knows? Who knows what they'll say? You have heard this before with a woman. They'll say, maybe this wasn't meant to be. This wasn't meant to be because we didn't keep the 1 year rule. We didn't get to know each other long enough. We met online and then we had sex too soon. A woman will begin to doubt herself in having sex with you. What is the lesson that you must learn from R. Kelly? You are the next R. Kelly. You. What happened to R. Kelly is going to happen to you because you have no fetters on your own desire. You don't have any chains on your own lust. And without that kind of restriction, you will think you're doing the right thing because the girl is with it in your mind. She supports it. She wants to do it. I've warned you, brothers, for years, you better learn to turn down vagina up.
Right.
You better learn to say no to it. Because that same girl who seems like she wants you, she seems so ready, when she thinks about it, when time goes by, she's going to say, you used me. You manipulated me. This isn't meant to be. Maybe this isn't meant to be. She will doubt herself. And when she doubts you, she's going to look at you and go, this should have never happened. Well, what will that cost you? And do you think that what R. Kelly is going through is the only penalty that'll happen to you? You're going to be in child support court with some woman you were in love with, and she was in love with you until things went bad. You cheated on her. This wasn't meant to be. This wasn't supposed to happen. I didn't know you were going to. Let me give you the cure-all to everything. You lied to me. You know what that means? You lied to me? She is free and absolved from ever giving you her vagina. It was not her fault. Yes, she gave you a vagina. She opened her legs. But you know what? You lied to her. Really, you got this vagina under false pretenses. Because guess what? She didn't know you wanted other women. You told her, yeah, I know the brothers have other wives, but I don't want any other wives. No, I know the brothers be doing that. I know. But me, I don't want any more wives. Is that what you're saying? Yes, I want to be with you and you only. Then 2 months after you have sex with her, come to find out you change your mind and you want another woman. You know what she's going to say? You lied to me, which means she is not at fault for having sex with you because you got this tail under false pretenses, which means child support, court, police, punish you, hurt you, and treat you as if you took it. That's going to happen to you. You're going to be R. Kelly if you can't control your body, if you can't control yourself. Now, homosexual brothers and sisters out there listening, should R. Kelly go to jail? I know it's homosexuals watching and listening. If you are gay and you believe you should be gay, was R. Kelly born like this? Is this how he was born? Huh? Did God make him like this? Should R. Kelly go to jail? When you battling a homosexual, I would ask him that question. The homosexual is going to say what? Who knows? Blow my mind. It's a car. If I ask the homosexual, should R. Kelly be put in jail? What are they going to say? They're going to say yes, absolutely he should. He's evil and disgusting. And then you should ask them, was he born like that? He likes children and he likes to urinate on them. Was he born like that? Is that how God made him? Maybe he's a fire hose trapped in a man's body. It's possible, right? Maybe R. Kelly self-identifies as a fire hose. You say, what are you? I'm a fire hose. I know I don't look like one, but I'm a fire hose trapped in a man's body. And I must put my hose on people. All right? I'm putting out fires on little girls. If he self-identifies as a fire hose, should he go to jail? Is it his fault? If you believe that God made you like that, then you're the next R. Kelly. Because you're also a person that is captured in your body. Your body controls you. You don't control it. If you are a so-called a gay person, then I don't know why you could be angry at R. Kelly. Clearly, he was born like that. Clearly, he was born believing he's a human fire hose. Why should he go to jail? Why should he be punished? If maybe, listen, you just like transsexuals, right? That's what you just like. And you should be free to love who you want to love. R. Kelly isn't free to love who he wants to love? Absolutely not. Neither are you. Don't you understand? Let me give you another person. If you are a 16-year-old girl listening, maybe your family is in the truth, but you hate the truth because of our restrictions. And you believe you should be free to have sex with who you want to have sex with. You believe you should have an abortion when you want to, even if your family doesn't even know about it. You know why you believe that? Because you believe that your body belongs to you. So I should have the right to have an abortion because this is my body. I should have the right to have sex even if my parents disagree because this is my body. Those little girls decided to give their body to R. Kelly. Is it their body? How could R. Kelly be wrong for having sex with children when the children wanted to have sex with them? It was their body. If you can do whatever you want with your body and have an abortion or have sex or dress like a slut on Instagram because it's your body, then why can't those children do what they want with their body? They want to give their body to R. Kelly. R. Kelly was wrong, and so are you. You're the next R. Kelly. And you brothers, you better pay close attention because you think for some reason that it's manly to give yourself over to lust. It is effeminate to give yourself over to lust. It is masculine to have mastery over your body, to have mastery over your penis, to have mastery over your flesh. It is not masculine to be someone that cannot turn down vagina ever. You're weak, and women are weak. You're given to pleasure. Give me the precept I need. Now I gotta run. Give me, I keep under my body. Give me your bodies are the members of Christ, who you are. That's in 1 Corinthians. Give me something I just said it just now. Mastery. You know the precepts I need. Just let me get them. All right. A lot of you listening and watching, you're going to be R. Kelly. Because any slut you see walking down the block, you want, and you get her. You go and get her phone number, or you go on I'mLonelyForSex.com. I can't find a woman for damnsake.org. And because of that, you are going to meet the nastiest slut in the world. And when she destroys you, you know what you're going to say? I met her on the internet, and she told me to come over. I had to go. I had really no choice in the matter. How many? Let me tell women how amazing it is. You brothers don't give a damn how many kids a woman has. I always hear women talk about she got a bunch of kids. And you know what I think too? It's coming to me now, Maya. I think women know that men don't give a damn about how many kids she has. I think women know that because they damn sure act like it. A woman who has 3 kids is going to treat you like, she's a goddamn unmarried virgin. She's going to act like you getting the prize. She's going to act like, well, I can't let you in my life, to be around my kids. Bitch, who wants to be around your kids? They act like, a woman doesn't act like she is less valuable, even though she has 4 kids. She acts as if she's still valuable, she's still hot to trot, she's still a hot commodity, and she can't let just anybody marry her and come into her Section 8 house with all her kids. And she has to kind of be choosy, even though she has 4 kids. And you are so stupid, you act just like that too as a man. You act like she's amazing and that she's some prize to get her when she has 4 goddamn kids. And it means nothing to you. You're going to walk in there and all of them stupid kids will be calling you daddy in a week. In a 1 week. You walk in the door, hey, I'm Mr. Tony. I'm here with your mama. And what's the first conversation like? That's what I always wondered. What does she say to the kid? No, I know you go see your daddy every weekend. No, but this your daddy too. Him. This one here. This is Mr. Tony. He just came over here tonight. I know you go see him every week and he gives me child support. I get that. And that's your daddy. But I want you to call, do they hold you and be like, dad, this is dad. This is your other daddy. This is him. And the kid stands there like, I thought daddy's the one to take me to McDonald's every week. No. This is your daddy. Call him daddy. And you sit there like a big dumb idiot. Let that child call you dad and daddy. When he got another daddy he go to McDonald's with every goddamn week. Why? For vagina. For that. Because you are so lustful that you have no standard, no dignity, no self-respect, and neither does he. And neither did he. He's a goddamn superstar. He could have sex with somebody famous. He could have sex with a woman. And what in the hell do you want to have sex with a child any goddamn way for? And call, that ain't no body. What is that little tail on a girl? What's that? That is not tail lock. That's a derriere. That's what that is. That's a bunkie. That's a derriere. What'd you say? That's a butt. That's a derriere. That ain't tail. You know who has tail? Women. Grown goddamn women with tail. That's a derriere. A boom boom. A boom boom. A poop poop. But you, even though you're rich and famous, you'll have sex with a derriere when you could get tail, brother. The real thing. God forbid. This is what your penis wants because you've been molested and you all mixed up and crazy in your stupid ass mind. And since your body wants it, you are a slave to your body. Precepts.
First Corinthians chapter 9, verse 27. Verse 27. But I keep under my body, and it brings it into subjection.
I do what?
But I keep under my body.
That's what Paul said. I keep under my body, brother. I keep under it. Meaning what? He's always watching it. Always making sure. He's not letting some desire decide what he does, which is what you do. You're lonely, you're up all night, all 4 a.m. looking on your phone, and before you know it, your desire makes you contact your ex-girlfriend who's married, who has a man. You contacting her because you're lonely and your body remembers when you had sex with her. Has she had sex with other men? Absolutely. You don't care. Is she having sex with everybody? A lot of you brothers will keep a woman that is cheating on you too. That's extra nasty.
Right.
Well, you know she's putting it where that mouth has been. And you go and kiss her and take her back and promise her you'll stop cheating if she leave him. You might want to wonder, maybe you like where that mouth has been. Maybe that's where you wish your mouth was.
Right.
Maybe that's why you do it. Maybe you're like him. Maybe you're just like him. Maybe you're somebody with all kinds of deviances and sickness, and you watch R. Kelly go, boy, that's messed up what happened to R. Kelly. You're the next R. Kelly. And if not jail, you'll be in jail because of child support forever. You'll be in jail because she'll lie and say you hit her, and you'll be in jail over that. Or she'll actually provoke you to hit her, and you'll hit her, and you'll be in jail because of that. Now you're going to go out and find an enemy because you're not under your body. You're not making sure. You're not saying, well, I want this woman, but whoa, no. I'm not doing that. What do I want with her? Come on, man. She got a ton of male friends. And then, of course, after you have sex with her, you know what you don't like? She got too many male friends. What'd you know before you had sex with her? She had a lot of male friends. You knew that. But to have sex with her, you didn't care, and then they'll hit you with this. Well, when I met you, I had these male friends. Hey, stop dressing like a whore. When I met you, I was dressed like this. You didn't give a damn about any of that because you're just like R. Kelly. You're him. You look at R. Kelly and go, oh, that's messed up what they're doing to a black man. Nigga, you're the next black man that they're going to do it to. You. They're going to do it to you. And everybody, and you're gonna say they persecuting another black man. All I did was tell that girl, was buy that prostitute, and they caught me in the car with it. Here they go again, the white man. You are the next one because you don't watch yourself. You think that being a man gives you the right to lust and to act on it. You're just like R. Kelly.
Right.
Keep going.
Go God. And bring it into subjection.
And does what?
And bring it into subjection.
And bring it into subjection. That's what he did with his body. Your body has you in subjection. Right? You love the trannies. Why? Because you were molested. And so you like women, but you had a rod when you were a little boy because your uncle put his rod in your mouth. And so now you're all mixed up. You like women, but yet you had rod in your mouth when you were 10. What do I do? I'm all confused. This is what you do. You do what the F I tell you to do.
Right.
That's it. That's all. It's such a simple thing. Can I have sex with transsexuals? No. Can I call them? No. Can I talk to one? No. Done. See how simple life is when your body doesn't rule you, but you rule it? You could tell yourself what to like. You could do that. People don't do it every day. People don't go on diets, huh? Do people go on diets, yes or no? Do people who love meat become vegetarians? The people who love vegetarians is so ridiculous, they'll go get a head of lettuce and make it a steak. They'll go say, this is a cauliflower. Shit, that was a steak. Damn, look at this, y'all. It looked just like steak. It tastes like steak. Now, if he can do that, you can change your sexual desire. You can. You can do anything. You can decide what you're going to eat. You can love meat and give it up. You can love drugs and give it up. You can love alcohol and give it up. You can give up your sexual preference. You absolutely can. Now, if you homosexuals out there listening, if you telling me you can't change, then neither can R. Kelly. Then you should say free him because you're a homosexual, he's a pedophile, both of you were born that way. How can you put a man in jail for doing something that he had no ability at all to stop? That would be ridiculous, right? Here's what the UPK says. R. Kelly can stop being a pedophile, and you homosexuals can stop being homosexuals.
Right.
You both can stop. You both can stop. Everyone can stop. Everyone. If a heroin addict can give up heroin, you telling me you can't give up your sexual disease deviance? These brothers and sisters on heroin, they could die from not using heroin. They could have withdrawals and die. You know what they do? If they're committed, if they want control back, if they want a better life, they'll lay in a hospital bed throwing up under covers, sweating, taking Narcan or taking whatever they have at the time to fix to lessen their symptoms. They'll do that. And they'll risk death. They'll risk death, all to be free. What in the hell are you saying? You can't do it? I think you can. One second, let me wrap my headpiece. Next, finish this up and then give me 1 Corinthians.
God, least that by any means, when I have preached to others, I myself should be a castaway.
If you don't keep under your body, you're going to go out in the street and what? Teach everybody else? And then what? You still smoking cigarettes? If you can't give up cigarettes, you can't be mad at R. Kelly. You understand, right? If you say, I can't stop smoking. Listen, it's too hard. I get you. Well, then let R. Kelly piss all over your child. And let him go home because he can't stop. He is a fire hydrant. He self-identifies as a water hose. He can't stop. He's addicted to pissing on children. You're addicted to cigarettes. Neither one of you can stop. Commander General Yohana says, R. Kelly can stop. So he's culpable for what he did. And you are culpable for smoking and for smoking weed because you also can stop. Captain. See me one more time, please, Danielle.
I'm saying it's so heavy because, of course, when you have people that don't have no money for cigarettes, they figure out a way to get money to get the cigarettes. So you can forget about it. So it's like if you can set your mind to that, a lot of times our minds are trained to what we can't do, or this is gonna fail. I'm gonna lose this. I'm gonna suffer. It's like you can train your mind as I can do it. Then you can do just about anything you put your mind to.
Give him a hand. Yeah. I think you could say, mountain move from henceforth, and the mountain would obey you. I think you can do whatever you want to do. I think that makes men like R. Kelly culpable for their actions. And I think it makes you culpable for yours. I think all of us are responsible for what we do, because I think there is no one that has to commit the crimes that they commit. I think you can fight it. And if you don't think you can fight drugs, weed, alcoholism, then don't put people like R. Kelly in jail for molesting your children, because he can't stop either. Give me the last one, the water warrior. Give me the last one. Your body is not your own. 1 Corinthians, I think 6. Go ahead. Go ahead.
I remember you was teaching the class about brainstorming, actually going into your brain and just going past the first thing that's convenient to you. Try to find a more reasonable thing.
Listen, man, that's if you want to do it. It is possible. Right. You can do it. You can storm your brain. You can, instead of saying, I have to do something, I have no choice, you can say, no, damn that. I'm going in my head until I find the solution. Right. The solution is here. I just can't think of it right now, but I'm going to go in my brain until I think of it. Right. Yeah, you could do it up. And if you can't do it, then why should he have to? Why should he have to do it? You love watching somebody else get punished for the same nasty shit you're doing. Or you like to say, don't punish him. A lot of the black community, you hate to punish any sexual predators. Oh my God. I know where you get it from. You get it from white people. White people never punish a sexual predator. Never. Catholic priests, none of them are getting punished. Child molesters in white families never get punished ever. And that's why black people do it. Let's take a second and realize why both of you do it. White people never punish a sexual predator. You never punish a sexual predator because of what white people do. What's the real reason no one wants to punish a sexual predator? This is what Commander General Yohana told me years ago. No one wants to punish a sexual predator ever. Am I?
Why? Because they are the same.
Because you deep down in here know that you doing a lot of nasty shit too. And you feel like what's that precept they always misconstrue? You feel like judge not, lest ye be judged. Because when you see Mike Tyson raping that girl and R. Kelly pissing on them kids, you like some sluts too. You like to touch children. You looking at your wife's daughter. You know it. And so when R. Kelly or Michael Jackson, God forbid it, not Michael, he's innocent of all charges, ain't he? Michael was just sleeping with them kids out of sheer love. That was it. Michael is like an angel. And he just wants to give his music to the children of the world. And he sets up that ranch with the giraffes and the monkeys. And he just sleeps in the bed with those kids simply to give those kids the magic of his slippers and the magic of his gloves. And you like that. You know why? Because you know that you are looking at your wife's daughter. You know you're doing it. And you don't want to see someone else getting punished for sexual deviance because you are a sexual deviant. Right. And the lesson you should learn tonight is you're the next R. Kelly. And if you think the UPK will help you or shield you or protect you, any one of you, if it is found that any one of you are sexual predators, I personally am going to throw you away. And unlike the Catholic Church, I'm going to sit here and tell everybody, right here, I'm going to give you a name, what you did, and tell everyone about it. I'm going to be so proud that I got to throw a sexual predator out the school. I'm going to bask in it. You won't be hidden in here. You'll be made an example of. Do you understand? If R. Kelly can stop, then so can you. But if R. Kelly can go to jail, so can you. But I can tell you how a while y'all shot. Last one. Violence. Today in Philadelphia. That's where I'm teaching the class from tonight. My goodness. 400 murders today in Philadelphia. The most in history. It made national news before I got in here, right? Now, many people don't know where the violence comes from, right? It's the COVID-19 situation just happened. There's tremendous poverty, and that poverty is an absolute trigger to the violence. It's no coincidence that right after the COVID-19 epidemic, everyone lost their jobs. What happens? There's a rash of crime, right? And that absolutely is related to the other. But it's not the root cause. The root cause of crime in America, or specifically crime among the Black and Hispanic community, is because of being assimilated to America. And crime is American. Being a gangster is America. Gun violence is American. Let me ask you a question. People always say, well, maybe it's because of the proliferation of guns, right? Maybe there's so many guns in America, and that's why there's so many shootings. Are there more guns or more knives? There's a knife in all your kitchens, right? Maybe about 6 of them, right? Little knives, big knives, paring knives. Is there a proliferation? What is it more, rocks or guns? Who can guess? There's a lot more rocks than it is guns. But I don't hear about everybody just getting busted upside the head with a rock. Are there more bricks or guns? A lot more bricks. But people aren't just hitting everybody upside the head with a brick. The reason that there is so much gun violence in America is because it is American to kill people with guns. So you aren't going to, if you get angry at someone for a random reason, you're never even going to think, I should take a baseball bat and bust him upside the head, even though there are a lot more baseball bats than there are guns. I should take a rock and hit him upside his head, even though there are a lot of rocks, way more rocks than guns. You are going to do the American thing, and the American thing is the shooting. That's the American thing. Let me tell you who do it. Give me Mr. Rogers. This is from 1969. Let me show you a tape. Mr. Rogers, when I was a young kid, he would always come on TV. He was half a homo, seemed like it, all right? But he was peaceful and was all into peace and puppets and all of that and all of those things, right? And he went and testified before Congress because then around that time, Tom and Jerry began to get popular. Who knows what Tom and Jerry is? Okay, you know what that is. That's where the mouse and the rat, they giving it to each other all the time. They taking each other out. The mouse and the rat, they fighting. The Bugs Bunny, they busting you over the head with them. The first time I saw a rolling pin, I thought it was just to bust somebody over the head with it. A rolling pin was for making bread. But I know on those cartoons, they find that rolling pin and knock you upside your goddamn head, hit you all the time. Well, Mr. Rogers began to see all of these cartoons. And he went and testified before Congress in 1969. They didn't even count the murders until 1960. 1969, he testified before Congress. Go ahead and play it.
Important to me. I care deeply about children. My first children.
Make you happy if you're in it.
I'd just like to talk about it if it's all right. My first children's program was on WQED.
You gotta get me to the point, you die. That's what I was hoping you could find. Take me straight to the point.
Now, with the help of the Sears Roebuck Foundation and National Educational Television, as well as all of the. It may sound like quite a difference, but $6,000 pays for less than 2 minutes of cartoons, 2 minutes of animated, what I sometimes say, bombardment. I'm very much concerned, as I know you are, about what's being delivered to our children in this country. And I've worked in the field of child development for 6 years now, trying to understand the inner needs of children. We deal with such things as the inner drama of childhood. We don't have to bop somebody over the head to make him to make drama on the screen. We deal with such things as getting a haircut, or the feelings about brothers and sisters.
Make sure they can hear it.
And the kind of anger that arises in simple family situations. And we speak to it constructively.
How long the program is it?
It's a half hour every day. Most channels schedule it in the noon.
Pause for time's sake.
Well as in
Mr. Rogers, he went to testify before a Senate subcommittee about all of the violence on cartoons. And he said in 1969, if you don't stop showing these children all of these knocking upside the head and punches and fights, it's going to turn the children violent. Not black children, not Hispanic children, children. Blacks and Hispanics are simply doing what is American. And it's American to do violence. You know why? Because violence makes money. That's what he just said. It's far cheaper, and you can make more money by giving a kid violence. I remember, this is back in the early 2000s. There was a video game that everybody loved. It was called Black Ops. Who remembers this game? Oh my God. Everybody loves that game, right? Black Ops, Black Ops, Black Ops. Where do you hear that name now? Ops. Is that name familiar to anybody?
Oh, God.
How's that name familiar now? That's what you call the brother you shoot. It used to be a video game. That was a video game, Black Ops. And everybody loved playing it. And what was it? It was some man running around shooting someone. And it was called the Black Ops. And I can guarantee now the kids don't know that was a video game that everybody was influenced by because it's American to push violence down your throat because you like it. You'll pay money for it. Gangster movies. All of the mafia, every mafia this, mafia that. Everybody complains about Denzel Washington playing a gangster in that movie. And they always say, well, why did Denzel Washington only get an Oscar when he played in Training Day? Who are the greatest actors in America? Anybody wants to know? Who wants to give me a name? Throw out one. Who do white people say are the greatest actors? You don't know. Robert De Niro and Al Pacino, who exclusively, only play gangsters, Italian gangsters in movies. That's it. Training Day, Godfather 1, 2, and 3. Random gangster movie, every gangster movie. The greatest actors in America play gangsters. That's it. Al Pacino and Robert De Niro. It's American to eat up violence, to pay for violence, to love violence. The problem with blacks and Hispanics is we have decided to assimilate into white society, and white people teach murder. They teach murder in the cartoons. They teach murder in the movies. They teach murder in the music. Before you started playing rap music that was so violent, what music did white parents hate? Rock and roll music. Rock and roll music was violent and terribly violent, and they would bite the head off of bats and drink blood and break guitars on stage. And they loved it, and they made millions of dollars. Now you're the rock and roll. Murder is American. Your problem is the same way you accepted Christmas and Thanksgiving and Easter You also accepted murder. All of them are American. Does everyone understand? Mayak, we good here? With that, pass the class over to priest officer who? Daniela, you got it up.
Y'all hear this? It's the ISUPK security announcement. We at ISUPK started out at 1 West, 125th Street, Harlem, New York, under Commander General Yohana. Rule for new brother and sister. When a new brother or sister comes into the school, they are off limits for 6 months. They are to be saluted only. They're here to share themselves with the world. If they need transportation, the teacher will arrange it. After 6 months, if a brother or sister has an interest in a particular person, he or she must get permission from the head to speak to a brother or sister. There's another 6 months in which the brother and sister will court each other. After this 6 month period, the brother and sister will get permission from the head to marry. Tithes, which is the commandment. Numbers chapter 18, verse 21. Malachi chapter 3, verse 8 to 10. Means 10th in Hebrew. My Asherah, 10% of every penny of any increase the Lord give you, give to the Treasury Department. Priest fund, free will offering for priests, not mandatory, whatever amount you would like, upcoming holy convocation. Tomorrow was actually the closing of the Feast of Tabernacles.
Tomorrow night, sundown.
Tomorrow night, sundown. The closing of the Feast of Tabernacles. If any brother wants to be a trooper in the school, start to wear all black. Black boots, shirt, pants, headband, or scarf. And with that, I imagine, which means stand just the brothers. Men of Israel, we're going to give one courtesy salute. Men of Israel, Madam Shabbat. I imagine, Barak, Yahweh Ba'ashem, Yahweh Shabbat, Yajamatah, Sar, which means turn, face your sister. Sister Imagine, which means stand. Sister, you want to have your feet at a 45-degree angle with your left hand, so your right hand over your left hand. Right hand over your left hand, and with your head down. Men of Israel, we're going to get a sister's one courtesy salute. Men of Israel, Madam Shabbat, Imagine, Barak, Yahweh Shemar Allah Ba'ashem. And what you want to say is Yahweh, Shemar Allah Ba'ashem, Yahweh Shah. And what we said is, may the Most High watch over you in the name of Christ. Yajamatah, me hands down, class dismissed.
I can see me off from camp.
Oh, God.
Come.
Right, that's also that y'all can see who also is